Hello, my name is Robert DeWitz, and I'm a student here at Dominguez Hills. And before I begin, I just wanted to give a little background on who I am. I spent a lot of time in the community college system, and I come from a working class family who has not been able to assist me financially in pursuing my higher education. So I've had to do whatever I can to navigate through higher education to make it affordable for myself and not incur any student debt. So I spent a lot of time in the community college system, quite a few years actually, delaying my transfer while taking a minimum amount of courses. And specifically, I developed my own education program at El Camino College during that time period. So I have a little bit of a perspective, not just from a student, but also somewhat as an educator, even though myself I am primarily a student. I have developed my own education program. And I've worked heavily within the community college system, but also somewhat in K through 12 and the CSU around issues that affect students. Reading some of the language that is given in the handouts and what's being proposed, I have some deep concerns about the rating scales or the rating system, which seem to be based on the way you articulate, or the way it's articulated is excess, affordability, and outcomes. But I'm not seeing anything about quality. You know, I used to work in retail, and when you have a product that's valued, that's based on value, it's not synonymous with quality. And in a lot of cases, value is at the expense of quality, right? So you have a valued product where it's cost minimal amount to make, but it kind of gets the job done, right? And the language that's being used is value seems to be synonymous with performance, right? And performance based on basically how fast students are graduating, how many students can get through the system, but not necessarily the quality in which the education is received. I work with an organization called Students for Quality Education, and we have 17 other chapters in the CSU, and we work for an accessible, quality and affordable education. So the quality of education is a particular thing that I'm extremely concerned about in the rating system that's being articulated. And the solution to this performance, appears to be, is talking about innovative technology, right? And walking into this forum yesterday trying to prepare for this, I was a little concerned that the solution that was going to be articulated was specifically going to be online education. And it wasn't until I picked up the handout that we're being handed out this morning that specifically that's what's being referred to, is online education being the savior of higher education. That this is how we're going to be able to speed up graduation rates, this is how we're going to be able to improve performance. Because you can provide that education at extremely low cost, have less teachers, pack as many students as you can in these courses, while sacrificing the quality of the education in which these students are receiving. And personally, I want to have a high quality education upon my graduation. I don't want to have a low quality education when I graduate. And there's such a loss of quality, when you're looking at an online educational experience versus an in-class setting. There's lots of networking opportunities, there's little to no human interaction, right? And yeah, just to name a few. Now our campus specifically, I'm a little concerned that the online education is coming specifically to Dominguez Hills, because we have a new provost we have 3 candidates, and one of the candidates for the provost is Ellen Young, who's the former provost of San Jose State, which we know, or many of us know, is the disaster with the MOOCs that took place within the last couple of years, where the success rates for those online education courses, those MOOCs, according to the Wall Street Journal, were estimated between 20 and 44% of graduating and passing rates for those courses. And now, only after a couple of years at that college, she's trying to come here. So I'm just worried that Dominguez Hills is going to be the new testing ground for online education. Something else that I would also like to point out is where the funds are going. In the last decade or so, we're seeing increased money being allocated to administrative costs, administrative salaries, and over administration. often at the expense of funds that are being channeled into our classrooms and into our teachers, and we're seeing top-heavy systems. And a lot of this money is not being allocated into classrooms. And the last thing that I wanted to note was on privatization. And I would like to come into this forum and believe that, the Department of Education is in my corner, as a student, as a, prospective worker, as a prospective citizen, trying to address the needs of our society. My concern is that the Department of Education is not in my corner, that the Department of Education is not in the corner of students, but it's in the corner of external businesses and organizations that have a vested interest in the future of public education. Whether it's these private companies who are providing these online education courses, whether it's some of the financial institutions that are, exploiting students via debt. And I just want, to make sure the Department of Education is making decisions that are in the best interest of students, not necessarily, in giving a handout to, private companies like Coursera or edX. And I don't believe that online education is the solution to our problems in the public, education. I think it's about the proper allocation of funds, right? And that there's alternatives. That we don't have to be forcing public institutions to take out, these partnerships with online education courses. And that's basically what's going to happen. You're forcing higher education institutions to partner with these online education providers, because this is the way they're going to be able to speed up graduation rates. This is the way they're going to be able to drive down the cost of education, is by sacrificing quality, paying less teachers, and packing as many students as you can into these online education classes. And this isn't the answer. This isn't what's best for students. So please,